Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers, big up to anyone new, gratitude to you. So it almost sounds too good to be true. The news coming out about Vergil Ortis and Tim Tszyu getting put onto that Crawford Madrimov card. I mean, that is an absolutely mouth-watering clash. Hopefully we can get some updates on that to see if that gets confirmed. But I was just talking about this yesterday. I made a video on Tim Tszyu's offense, explaining that, like, more of a philosophy thing and his desire to put the pressure on whilst counter punching and having good defense. And I mentioned at the end of that video about, oh man, imagine him fighting Vergil Ortis. It looks like it could be getting done. It's an amazing fight. Oh my goodness, 154-pound division. Now I made a video about 6 to 9 months ago on this division. I was like, watch out for this division because there's so many good fights here. And if we do get this fight, I mean, my gosh, their styles, there's something has to give. You know, you've got two hard-hitting, I'd say Vergil Ortis is probably a slightly harder hitter. He comes forward, he throws power jabs, he digs to the body with combinations. He's extremely tough, and he's got that machismo element about him, which actually might be his downfall. And I say might, I'll do a full deeper study, because I think Tim Tszyu's a bit more intelligent. And when you do put, such fearsome competitors in front of each other, it's not always about being tough. In fact, it's not. It's about being smart. And I think Tim Tszyu's a bit smarter, and I think he's a really good counter puncher. And Vergil Ortis's jab is definitely there to be countered. Shout out to Boxing Gems on that one. If you don't know about his channel, he did a breakdown on the Stanionis one. I mean, he's a genius, that dude. But like, he was showing Vergil Ortis's flaws when he throws the jab. He either falls to the side a little bit, leaves himself off balance, and just it kind of swipes it a bit. Comes the finish on the jab has some counter punching opportunities. Let's say that. That's not obviously going to completely win the fight, but there are moments there. I think the inside fight will be quite fascinating, because on that video I mentioned at the end that Tim Tszyu's inside game probably could be better, but actually he's very physically strong. He's very good at fighting out the clinches and shooting off body shots, all random shots. He's extremely strong. But I mean, this is an amazing fight. Wow. And on top of that, it's supposedly, I mean, this just sounds too good to be true. There's some like Jarrell Miller versus Andy Ruiz. That's a pretty good fight. I know they both had some out the ring inactivities and extracurricular activities, whatever you want to call it. Still a pretty good fight. And then another addition was Pitbull Cruz versus Valenzuela. That's first defense of Cruz's title. That's a pretty good fight. I was just like, what a card. They're supposed to announce the Crawford Madrimov fight here in New York City today. I just made a video about that a couple of days ago. Thanks to anyone that watched that, and thanks to all the subscribers tuning in and anybody new. Appreciate it a lot. I don't have a lot of time today to do a lot of the highlights. I just made a video a couple of days ago about Matias and Pitbull Cruz, just a hypothetical X's and O's, throw them out the window. And I went into a little bit of the history of like Puerto Rico and Mexico, and how it'd be good to get that rivalry back, and matching those two up. It's just a hypothetical matchup. But I think Eddie Hearn wants to get these fights going. He really does. And he is supposedly involved in this card in LA with the Saudis. Man, people say they're saving boxing. I disagree with that, because at the end of this video I'll leave you a clip. It's about a 5-minute highlight reel from 2023, just to remind you how good last year was. So, and I know the PBC are looking for a new home. Well, they got Amazon, but I know Showtime's. I know there's a lot of moving parts, so I get where the saving aspect comes from, because it's there's a lot of uncertainties maybe. But look, at the end of the day, when you've got the amount of money that the Saudis have, that's the game changer right there, between getting the promoters to fight with each other. That'd be fun. Getting the promoters to come together, like Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, who have been fairly bitter rivals over the years. Now they're all of a sudden, the money's there, they're like, okay. Well, it's the same with the fighters, you know what I mean? There's like a line where they're like, oh no, I won't do it for this, I'll do it for this. Well, doing it for this, that's Saudi money. and they're just like, and the Turkey El Sheikh, he's just a massive boxing fan, and he's just like, all right, you fight you. No, I don't want to do it. Okay, how about for this much? Okay. That's basically what's happening. Maybe not so much for not all the fights, like this Tszyu Ortiz one. Those guys are old school throwback fighters, and they do not care so much about money. They're about just wanting to fight each other, to be honest with you. That will be a respectful build-up and a respectful fight, and that's why I love this fight as well, because they've got heart, they've got power, they've got skills, they've got tenacity. Where Vergil Ortiz is right now, look, it's interesting because he obviously has had one round in a couple of years, and I saw that fight again this morning, and he countered that guy with the jab and he stunned him. But I forget that guy's name. Fredrickson? No, that's not it. Doesn't matter. He stopped him in one round in a controversial stoppage. But he fights Thomas Delorme this Saturday. Not a very good opponent, really. Delorme's long been shot, I think. It's like, what kind of rounds is he going to get in from that? Still, it's good that he's getting out. And then I can believe it actually, Tim Tszyu just going for the smoke. That guy's an animal. I mean, can you imagine? I always say this. Can you imagine if every fighter wanted to do that? Had these two fighters' mentality, let's just go for the smoke. Let's go for the burning building. Let's walk towards it. Most people are running the other way. They're going towards it. You can't, but